Hi, I'm Cedric. Welcome to Saved by the Truth. Today, I'm making my first video, and I wanted to first start by sharing a little bit more on why I'm really starting a YouTube channel and just to help you understand a little bit more about me and perhaps some value that I may be able to bring to your life and helping to kind of go deeper into really this matter that we call the truth. What is the truth? So, just a little bit more of a background. If you, if I look at my own life, I have to say that everything that I know about the world, about me, all of that, it's kind of like I just woke up into this world and I see everything. I see the trees, mountains, people, and have thoughts and ideas. But I can't necessarily say that I made these things, but rather I just woke up and now it's kind of like this now, right? So, really, everything that I know, in a sense, I have to say has been imposed on me, if that makes sense. And so, I can't really say that I know anything. I can only say that everything has been told to me, passed down to me. When I was born, I never, I don't know what God is. I never asked my parents, hey, what is God prior to me hearing or knowing about it in some shape or measure. And so everything that I know from being born up until now are information that's been given to me by my parents, by the school that I've gone to, and everything that I've been influenced by throughout my life. So, in short, I own nothing that I know. It is not, I don't know anything that I can say is original to me. So, that's where really I want to bring this. And I want to also express another fact that what most of us take to be true is merely the type of view we have about a certain thing. So, for example, if I can look at drinking alcohol as bad, let's say I've heard a bunch of Christians say this before, where you could have two different Christians or two Christians, and one would say, well, no, drinking is bad, you shouldn't drink at all. And another Christian say, well, drinking is fine, hey, even Jesus drank wine, right? And so, uh, in a sense, they're of the same religion but of different views. And when you look at also all the conflict that arises in the world, whether it's conflict between a man and his spouse, or conflict between nations, even civil wars, really any type of conflict or argument, all of it is based on one's view. So I have a view, for example, I have a view that cheesecake is good, and you have a view that cheesecake is bad. And I say, well, what? Cheesecake is bad? I think it's good. It's the best cake ever. And you're like, no, it's terrible. I hate it. I never want to see it again and never want to eat it. I can't imagine that you think it's good and you're defending your view that it's good, and he's defending his view that it's bad. So eventually, that's how conflict arises. You see, when you look at any sort of political uh, campaign, it's all about someone expressing his view and saying that the other person's view is wrong. You see, so we have come to a point in our lives where we take views, our views, whether it's this person's view, my view, or anybody's views, that they are in themselves the truth somehow. And that's not quite how I experience the truth. The truth cannot be your view or my view. The truth has to be independent of any view. The truth has to be separate from any view. In fact, the truth has to be there prior to any view that we can have. You see, first there's the truth, then we have a view about it. But because we do not know the truth, then we develop views. And so, what are views? So, views are our thoughts, our thinking, our opinion about something. So, for example, I have a mouse right here. So, there is what it is, and there is my idea of what it is. We can say that my idea, my view, what I think is obviously, something different and apart from the actuality of what is here. And we can also say that, first of all, the actuality has to be here before I can think and have a view about it. So the truth stands on its own. It doesn't need anyone to think a certain way about it. So, for example, let's say, yes, there's a mouse here, and let's say I thought of it to be a glass of water, for example. It's not just going to turn into a glass of water. What I think is not going to change the actuality. You see that? So if I rely on what I think to be in itself the truth, then obviously I'm very mistaken, right? And so what I do want to narrow down on is there's the truth and there's our views. And so with many channels, with many and all of the forms of media, it's all about sharing our views, sharing our opinions. But rather, I want to create this channel to help people have discernment on the different matters of the world. In this channel, we're going to be watching videos. We're going to be reviewing the different things going on, both politically, both in terms of human rights, and across the world, to really examine and develop insight from these different matters, and how can we in ourselves live in a way that is harmonious with the way things actually are. And so this channel is about discovering the truth, discovering the way things actually are rather than being entangled by our views. So I'm not going to share my views with you. I'm not going to share my opinions with you. We are going to have a conversation on discovering the truth in all that happens in our lives. So join me in this journey. I'd love to see what you think about the future shows and just some of the content that we share here, just some of the ideas that we share here, just so you can give some feedback and see how it really kind of affects you. And that's really what we want to see here. You know, can we have conversations that go deeper than our views and opinions and open something within us that is less in conflict, that's not fighting with the next person, that's not saying I'm right and you're wrong, but rather, hey, you see this and I see this in this way, but what is the truth of the matter? You see, what is the way things actually are? You see, another example and last example that I do want to share here. Imagine you're driving down the road and just ahead you see a puddle of water and your eyes tells you, well, there's water there. However, insight and discernment tells you it's a mirage. You see, and by that example, also notice that what isn't real and what is false can also appear to your eyes. So it is a huge mistake to trust one's eyes without first discerning and developing insight of what is actually there. So thank you very much. Welcome to Saved by the Truth, and I'll see you in the next video.